So, hello everyone, and welcome back to STW Sports. I'm host Samuel Wright, joined by Brentford fan Dan McGee. And of course, Dan, you came on this at the start of the season, just before the Brentford's game against Arsenal on the opening night, it was, of the new Premier League season. Obviously, back then you said you think Brentford might have a good season so far. It's worked out quite well. 12th in the Premier League, 12 points clear of relegation. It's been quite good for Brentford so far.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go this well. I think I was being quite optimistic when I said we'll have a good season, as I'm sure any fan would say going up to a new league. But it's really surpassed anybody's expectations, really. I'm very happy with how things are going right now.
I mean, obviously, a couple of big wins this season. The one over Arsenal on the opening day, of course, the one over Aston Villa to start off 2022 on a positive note. Also, some really good performances, though, of course. The one against Liverpool in that 3-3 draw. Obviously, the one against Chelsea when you were really a great goalkeeper display away from getting something. So, I mean, how proud of you are the team, the fact they are taking it to these big teams?
I think it's a case with a lot of these smaller clubs or a lot of these smaller teams in the Premier League. They'll always turn up against the big guys. I know for a fact that when we played City the other week, sorry, we really pushed for a win there, and it was a narrow defeat. Same as Chelsea, same as Leicester, Liverpool as well was a 3-3 draw. Um, if we, going toe to toe with these Premier League giants, just goes to show that we deserve to be where we are.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you have had your setbacks this season, of course, and mainly being the loss against Norwich City, of course, a 2-1 defeat there. Has there ever been a point of the season where you have feared a bit that you'll be dragged into a relegation battle, or do you think you're in a good enough position now to be all right?
Yeah, I think there has been some doubts personally, thinking, do we cut it in the Prem? Not scoring enough goals, etc. Obviously, losing to teams like Norwich, we shouldn't be at Burnley as well. Brighton, home and away. There are teams where you look and you think, do you know what, we should be getting 3 points from this, and obviously not.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of players this season for you, obviously you said last season on my Championship podcast you didn't think you were a one-man team with Ivan Toney, and I guess Brentford have proved that this season. Tony's only got 4 goals in the Premier League, yet you're still in a good position. Any particular player stood out for you from a Brentford point of view?
I think it's been a team effort. But if I were to choose a couple of players that it would be for me, it would definitely be Sergi Canos, who has adapted as a right wing back. Really, really doing great things in that position. Another signing we made, Christopher Ayer. He's been out for some weeks now, but whenever he's in the team, he almost feels like we've got that extra push as defence, rather as Pontus Jansson or Ethan Pinnock may not travel with the ball, whereas Chris Ayer does. Johan Visser as well. He scored some goals as well. He scored a beautiful goal against Villa the other day, and a lot of fans were saying, including myself, maybe he's more of an impact sub rather than a starter. I think he just went to go and prove why he should be starting week in, week out the other day.
Yeah, and also obviously Brentford Community Stadium last season, unfortunately, rarely ever saw fans, and if they did, it was only a small capacity. This season, though, from the opening night against Arsenal, it's really been rocking all season for Brentford. Any particular atmosphere stand out for you?
I'd like to say we've made it into our fortress. I'd like to say that, but we've not really won that many home games just yet. I would definitely say the one that stood out for me is I've got one or two here. Well, I say three really. Arsenal definitely has to be up there. The first time fans were back in stadiums, and that was rocking. Another one would be Chelsea on that narrow defeat because of in that last 20-30 minutes and how much was played towards our goal and where the stand is where I stand. Um, the atmosphere there was electric. I'd say, and definitely, I think one of them for me as well would be City at home a couple of weeks ago, because as soon as we thought they scored a second goal, which was disallowed from VAR, out of nowhere we just started singing "Hey Jude," and it was like the loudest "Hey Jude" you think you could ever imagine. And it just goes to show that we are the 12th man there. We really back the players, and I think that's so important, especially going against these Premier League giants, really.
Yeah, in terms of the end of the season, obviously still half the season to go yet, but right now, where are you thinking Brentford will finish around about?
The start of the season, I would have said top 10. But right now, I'd quite happily avoid relegation. I'm thinking maybe 12th to 14th, realistically, is what I'm thinking. But who knows? This is football. The second half of the season, which we've just kicked off, who knows? We could go on a winning streak here. It's probably highly unlikely, but this is football. Anything can happen.
And also, Dan, final question for I'm going to ask, who do you think is going to win the Brentford Player of the Year?
What, play year just gone?
No, this year, as in this season.
It wouldn't be Ivan Toney. I'd say it's either got to be Sergi Canos, Christian Norgard, or even Rico Henry. If I were to go for one, it's such a tough. You're making these questions hard, Sam. I'd like to go with Rico Henry because he's just way too consistent, and that's what you want in your team: consistency.
Playing just one last word, Thomas Frank as well. How do you rate the job he's done in adapting from Championship to Premier League football?
I think for a manager to come in and do what he's done, especially achieve promotion like he did, I know it weren't in the prettiest ways, but you go up and you go up. But adapting to the Premier League and getting vital points, I mean, getting these big points, especially against Arsenal. There was a YouTube video, I think, there's a video, Masterpiece or something like that, and the manager sits down and they tell you their tactics on how they won a particular game. And I think Thomas Frank is not just a manager that knows what he's doing, but he's also a manager who will always boost morale in that dressing room. Because, you know, there has been some games where we go in poor in the first half, and then the second half we come out and we're thinking we're like a changed team here. I'd love to be a fly in the wall on what was said at half time with Thomas Frank, but I think he's adapted really well. The fans love him. You know, a lot of the other football fans love him because of how honest he is. I think he's just a very likable guy, and he's adapted really well with our club. I wouldn't want anybody else for the job right now.
Excellent, Dan. Well, that's all the questions we've got anyway. But been a good first half of the season for Brentford. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope everyone enjoyed the video as well. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you, mate.